What if the moment you stopped trying to win her back was the moment she started missing you? Sit with that. Because most men never reach that moment. They stay stuck in loops, texting, calling, apologizing for things they didn't even do, trying to fix what she had already decided to break. But here's the hard truth. Chasing someone who's pulling away doesn't win them back. It just confirms they were right to leave. She thought she had you figured out, that you'd always be available, that no matter how cold she got, you'd be there, waiting, that even after she pulled away, disrespected you, played mind games, you'd still be chasing validation like a dog waiting for a treat. That's the illusion she was living in, and for a while, maybe it was true. You gave too much. You overinvested. You made her your center. She became the sun, and you revolved around her. But here's where the shift begins. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, stop explaining yourself, is the moment you take the power back. Not by playing games, not by being petty, but by going cold. Cold doesn't mean cruel, it means calculated. You've stopped bleeding emotions all over someone who never cared to bandage your wounds in the first place. That heartbreak, that gut punch, that silence after she walked away, that's your awakening. It's the fire that burns down the weak version of yourself and leaves behind someone untouchable. You don't beg anymore. You don't plead. You don't try to prove your worth. Your worth is not up for negotiation, not anymore. You've entered a new space, a Stoic space, a place where peace is power and silence is strategy. This isn't about making her jealous. This isn't about winning her back. This is about winning you back. The man who forgot his value, the man who forgot that emotional control, is the sharpest weapon in a world that wants you weak. Let her wander. Let her spiral in your silence. Let her talk to her friends and check your socials, hoping to see you stuck. But you're not stuck. You're focused, stoic, controlled. You're becoming the kind of man she can't reach anymore. And that's when she'll start to regret it. Not because you tried to change her mind, but because she miscalculated yours. She wanted control, but now she's lost access. And the only thing colder than your silence is your discipline. If you're done begging for closure, if you're ready to become untouchable, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I choose silence over weakness. Now let's begin. Number 1, she took you for granted because you gave her certainty. Certainty is comfort, and comfort kills attraction. She didn't leave because you weren't good enough. She left because she knew exactly where you stood, and she stopped wondering if she could lose you. She had full access to your time, your attention, your emotion. She never had to earn anything, and what comes easy gets taken for granted, every time. Let's get real. She didn't fall for you because you were available 24/7, replying in seconds, throwing all your feelings on the table. She fell for the mystery, the unpredictability, the quiet confidence. But somewhere along the line, you started prioritizing her over your purpose. You made her the mission, and the moment you did that, she lost respect. Women aren't attracted to men they can control. They're attracted to men they can trust to remain grounded, even when emotions are high. You gave her too much certainty, and certainty kills tension. Tension is what keeps a fire alive. You need to become less predictable. Not by playing games, but by living your life without centering it around her approval. She was never supposed to be your peace. You are your peace. That's the root of Stoic control. The only person you own is yourself. So now, the access is cut. Not to manipulate her, but to restore balance. She doesn't get the same version of you she walked away from. You're done explaining, chasing, proving. You've stepped out of the role of the emotional provider. You've stepped into silence, detachment, purpose. Let her feel the void. Let her realize the value she once had free access to. That's not revenge. That's discipline. If you're done being predictable, if you're ready to break the cycle of being taken for granted, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Number 2, pain is a gift if you know how to use it. Heartbreak hurts, but pain isn't the enemy. It's the message. It's the alarm clock for the part of you that's been asleep, the version of you that tolerated too much, gave too much, and forgot who the hell he was in the process. Pain wakes that man up, and when it does, you've got 2 choices: numb it and stay broken, or face it and become dangerous. See, Stoicism teaches one thing very clearly. You don't control external events, only how you respond to them. That includes heartbreak. That includes betrayal. That includes the sick feeling in your gut when she replaced you like you never mattered. You could let that kill you, or you could let it forge you. Most men run from pain. They distract themselves. They jump into rebounds, drink it away, scroll endlessly just to feel numb. But the ones who win, they sit in it. They stare it down. They journal. They train. They build. Because they know that pain is raw fuel, and if you process it with control, it becomes power. This pain you're feeling isn't weakness. It's data. It's telling you what your boundaries should have been. It's showing you where you lacked discipline. It's a mirror reflecting the gap between who you were and who you need to become. Dark psychology understands this too. Pain creates behavioral change. People evolve under pressure. And heartbreak, when used correctly, becomes the birthplace of your next level. Not because you're trying to prove her wrong, but because you're proving yourself right about your value, your standards, and your focus. So no, this isn't a setback. It's a setup for your rise, and she won't recognize you when you're done. If you're done running from the fire and ready to walk through it, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I turn pain into power. Number 3, the most dangerous man is the one who's emotionally untouchable. She expected a reaction. She wanted chaos. She wanted proof that she still had power over you. But what did she get? Silence, stillness, no texts, no breakdowns, just space. And that space, that's what breaks people, because nothing is louder than the absence of attention. Let me make this clear. Emotional control is not about being numb. It's about being unshakable. When you become emotionally untouchable, you remove the only weapon she had, your reaction. Women test to feel your strength, not physically but emotionally. They push buttons, pick fights, withdraw, just to see if you'll fold. And when you don't, that's when they feel your power. This is what Stoics knew. No one can control your mind unless you hand them the keys. If she can make you spiral, she owns you. But when you control your inner state, you become something she can't manipulate. And that makes her question everything. You don't need to explain your silence. You don't need to post cryptic messages. That's weak. She'll notice your absence when you're not reacting like you used to. When she doesn't get the dopamine hit from your validation, when she feels your energy shift from needy to neutral. And this isn't just about her, it's about every relationship in your life. The moment you stop being emotionally available to every opinion, every insult, every rejection, you become untouchable, cold, not cruel, not heartless, just calm, detached, and focused. She can't reach you now, because you've built walls, not out of bitterness, but out of discipline. And nothing is more attractive, more threatening, more powerful than a man she can't shake. If you're done giving people emotional access they didn't earn, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 4. The power shift happens in your absence. You don't take power back by arguing. You take it back by vanishing. See, she didn't really expect to lose you. She expected distance, maybe even silence, but temporary. What she didn't see coming was the void. That permanent silence. That heavy, echoing absence that starts to grow louder every day you don't reach out. This is where the shift happens. Not when you post a picture to make her jealous. Not when you try to show you're doing fine. The shift happens when you disappear and don't explain. When she checks her phone and your name hasn't come up. When she posts something to get your attention and nothing comes back. Stoicism isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's the calm decision to remove yourself from anything that no longer aligns with your values. And once you realize that her presence in your life caused more chaos than clarity, the silence becomes your answer. You don't owe her a monologue. You owe yourself peace. Here's what dark psychology understands. Attention is energy. And when you withdraw your energy, you trigger uncertainty. The same certainty that made her feel safe to walk away now turns into doubt. She thought she could leave and still live in your mind rent-free, but you've moved out. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, gone. And that absence, it hits different when it's backed by real change. When you're no longer stalking her socials, no longer wondering what she's doing, no longer hoping she texts. She wanted power. She got silence. And now the power belongs to you. Let her feel the shift. Let her question what happened to the man who used to orbit her world. He's not missing. He's just no longer available. If you're done being her emotional fallback and ready to let your absence speak louder than words, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence teaches what my presence couldn't. Number 5. Attention is her addiction. Denial is your weapon. She doesn't miss you, not at first. She misses your attention, your validation, the constant reassurance that she still had you in her back pocket, that safety net, that dopamine drip of knowing you'd answer. That's what she really lost. And now it's withdrawal season. Here's the truth. Attention is currency, and you were giving yours away like it was worthless. Every message, every comment, every heart-on-sleeve confession, those were deposits into her ego. But now, the bank's closed. No more likes, no more check-ins, no more emotional payoffs. You've gone dark, and that silence, it's starving her. Dark Psychology 101. When you remove a stimulus someone is addicted to, they start obsessing, they spiral, they replay memories, they reach, even if they don't show it. You've become unpredictable, unavailable. And in that vacuum, she starts to feel exactly what she tried to make you feel. Uncertainty, self-doubt, confusion. Women crave attention, but what they respect is restraint. She may never say it, but the moment you stopped feeding her ego, she felt it. And now, every guy who gives her what you used to feels weaker by comparison, because he's chasing, and you're not. Stoicism teaches detachment, not because you don't care, but because you understand the value of your energy. You've pulled back your attention and reinvested it into yourself, into the gym, into your business, into your mind. And now, she's not the center of the story anymore. You are. She doesn't get to feast on your focus anymore, because your attention is no longer given. It's earned, and the door is shut. If you're done handing out attention like it's free and ready to guard it like the weapon it is, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control where my energy flows. Number 6. Rejection is a redirection toward power. She said it was over. Maybe she ghosted. Maybe she gave you that cold, distant look like you were a stranger. Whatever the form, it stung. But here's what you need to realize. Rejection is a gift. It's a redirection away from someone who didn't value you toward the version of yourself who finally does. Most men take rejection personally. They see it as proof they weren't enough. But Stoicism flips that thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." Translation: suffer smarter, use it. Don't cry over a door that closed. Kick open a better one. She didn't break you. She revealed you. She exposed where you still had holes, where you gave too much, where you lost your edge. And now you get to patch that up. You get to get sharper, stronger, colder. You don't need her to come back. You need to make sure the version of you who tolerated her treatment never comes back. Here's the twist. Her rejection did you a favor. It stripped away the illusion. You were chasing someone who wasn't capable of seeing your value. And now that you've stopped chasing, she has to sit with that loss. That's the punishment. Not your anger, not your words, your progress. Rejection is only painful when you're attached to the outcome. But once you release that attachment, you become dangerous. You start to move in silence. You stop explaining yourself. And the woman who walked away? She starts to feel it. Not because you begged, but because you rebuilt. If you're done seeing rejection as loss and ready to use it as fuel, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Rejection made me ruthless. Number 7. When you stop caring, you start leading. She used to lead the emotional dance, pull back, then reel you in. Say one thing, mean another. Cry, complain, test your patience. And you followed, reacting, adjusting, trying to keep her happy. But here's the harsh truth. The one who cares less holds the power. Not because they're cold, but because they're centered. The moment you stop caring what she thinks, how she feels, or where she's at, that's when you start leading. You lead your life, your time, your energy. No more walking on eggshells, no more being afraid of upsetting her, no more tiptoeing around her moods. Stoicism teaches that emotions don't lead, you do. The Stoic man acts according to values, not validation. You're not cold-hearted, you're disciplined, and that discipline terrifies people who used to control you through chaos. You no longer argue, you no longer prove. You no longer chase clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. When she notices that she can't shake you anymore, that's when she starts to feel the shift. You're not reacting. You're not watching her stories. You're not jumping when she baits you. You're cool, composed, focused on your mission. And that calm, that indifference, that leadership, it creates polarity. Because women don't want to lead. They test to see if you will. And now you are. You've stopped asking for closure, stopped needing permission, stopped revolving around her emotions. You've taken control of the frame. You lead, she follows, or she leaves. But either way, your path doesn't change. If you're done being emotionally led and ready to take the lead, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Indifference is my edge. Number 8. Your success is her silent punishment. You want to punish her? Don't. Just disappear into progress. Let your success be the message. No pettiness, no clapbacks, no watch me win posts. Real growth makes noise without saying a word, and the louder you get in life, the quieter she'll feel. She expected you to fold, to sulk, to stay stuck. She thought you'd orbit her life from a distance, always low-key hoping she'd come back. But instead, you vanished. And when you reappear, it's not with a new girl, it's with a new level. That's what breaks them. Not that you moved on, but how you moved on. You see, most men self-destruct after heartbreak. But the Stoic man, He reinvents, he locks in, he transforms silence into strategy. Every gym session, every dollar earned, every hour invested into purpose instead of pain, that's the real revenge. Not because you're trying to flex on her, but because you finally remembered who the hell you are. Dark psychology understands something here. When someone thinks they've broken you and you bounce back even harder, it unsettles them. It forces them to reevaluate everything. Because your glow-up reflects their mistake. Your silence becomes a mirror showing them what they lost. And the more you level up, the heavier that silence becomes. You don't need to announce anything. You don't need her to see it, but she will. Through the grapevine, through mutuals, through that late-night search she swore she wouldn't do. And when she sees you thriving without her, she'll realize she lost access to a man she didn't even fully understand. If you're done chasing closure and ready to let success speak for itself, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My rise is my revenge. Number 9. Emotion is her domain, logic is yours. She argued with emotion. You responded with reason. She twisted words. You tried to clarify. She created chaos. You tried to calm it. And every time you lost ground, because you were fighting on her battlefield. But that ends now. You don't win by being more emotional. You win by not playing the emotional game at all. Women test men through emotion, not because they're evil, but because they want to feel something real. Strength, direction control, and if you get pulled into her emotional storm every time, you lose polarity. You stop being the grounded one, and she loses trust in your frame. Here's where Stoicism steps in. Emotions are natural, but being ruled by them, that's weakness. You feel them, observe them, but you do not act from them. You act from logic, principle, long-term thinking. When she tries to bait you with drama, with jealousy, with silence, you don't flinch, you assess, you detach, you move strategically. Dark psychology thrives on control, and emotion is control, if you let it be. She wants to see if you'll chase, if you'll explode, if you'll fall apart without her. And the moment you show her that you don't need to win an argument because you've already won control over yourself, that's when the game ends. You're not here to fight. You're here to rule your space, and that space doesn't bend for guilt trips, manipulation, or passive-aggressive games. You've left the emotional battleground, and you've stepped into command. If you're done being emotionally hijacked and ready to think like a king, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My logic leads, my emotions follow. Number 10. She lost access, but you gained authority. She thought you'd always be there, that no matter how cold she got, how distant, how disrespectful, you'd still be holding the door open. But now, that door's locked, not slammed, not angry, just gone, access denied. And in that silence, something happens. She realizes she lost more than a man. She lost access to your energy, your consistency, your presence. That's the shift. You're not fighting for attention anymore. You're not waiting for her to see your worth. You've become the man who knows his worth and guards it. Stoicism taught you to master yourself. Heartbreak taught you to protect your peace. And now you're no longer trying to be chosen, because you are the choice. This isn't about bitterness. This is about authority. She lost access, but you gained control over yourself, over your time, over your attention, over your standards. You don't need closure because you've already closed the chapter. Quietly, with power, with clarity. And now you're moving like a man who's not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't honor his value. That's what scares her. Not that you moved on, but that you elevated. That the version of you who used to wait, used to text first, used to beg, no longer exists. You didn't replace her. You outgrew her. And when you do that, you don't look back. So let her sit with the silence. Let her wonder. Let her realize too late what she had free access to. That's not revenge. That's evolution. If you're done explaining yourself to people who lost the privilege of access, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I am the gatekeeper of my energy." And if you made it to the end, remember this: you don't get stronger by holding on. You get stronger by letting go, without needing applause for it. You've been lied to your whole life. They told you being a good man meant being soft, emotional, always available. They said vulnerability would keep her. It didn't. It made you predictable, weak, easy to manipulate. And when she realized she had all the control, she walked, or worse, she stayed, but disrespected you. And you let it happen. But not anymore. Now you understand. This wasn't just a breakup. It was a test. A brutal, necessary lesson in emotional discipline, in boundaries, in silence. She thought you'd chase, but you chose distance. She expected tears, but you gave her indifference. She looked back, but by then you were too far gone. This is what real stoicism looks like. No reaction, no drama, just a man who's locked in on himself. A man who knows the difference between being wanted and being needed. You're no longer available to people who play games with your time, your energy, or your peace. You're the prize now, not because you said it, but because you became it. Let her watch your evolution from the sidelines. Let your glow-up haunt her silence. But you, don't do it for her. Do it for the version of you that suffered, the one who gave too much, the one who stayed too long. Honor him by never going back. If this hit different, if you felt every word in your chest, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Stoic Blessing, turn on notifications, and drop a final comment below. I don't chase, I evolve. Until next time, stay cold, stay focused, stay stoic.